Hey guys, I'm the Nerdy Movie Guy, and we're here to talk about Ahsoka Episode 4. Now, I think there are some ups and downs to this episode, so I just want to get into it. So, one thing I've noticed through the past few episodes, I don't know if you guys have noticed it too, but there are a lot of shots of Ahsoka just standing around, and that seems to be the case in the opening of this episode as well. She's just kind of standing there, crossing her arms, talking to Sabine, and there's really not much to the scene at all. And as we move on, they walk outside the ship in the opening, and then they're still talking. And this isn't really a problem with the show. It's just something I've noticed that just becomes a little bit irritating when you're expecting something, when this kind of a Jedi character is in a big production type show. You'd expect there to be more than just standing around. But guys, this isn't a problem. This is just something I've noticed, and it's just become a little bit annoying. This was the opening. To me, it was just distracting, just seeing her standing around. Now, in this episode, as we progress and they get into the Force, we actually get a fight with Merrick and Shin. Now, this was interesting because I was ready for a fight. I was looking forward to it. And as Sabine fights Shin, Ahsoka fights Merrick. And this should be really cool. It was really exciting. But what happens with Merrick is she ends up beating him pretty quickly, which, okay, we've seen it before. But it just kind of takes you out of the moment of the climactic excitement because the fight was over too quickly to really build any suspense. And I want to know what you guys think. But when he dies, there is this green mist, and we haven't really seen much of it before except for the Night Sisters. Now, we know Morgan Elizabeth is probably a Night Sister. Her ancestors were Night Sisters. She's human. And we haven't seen a human Night Sister before. We know Taron Malicos from Jedi Fallen Order. He was doing something with Dathomir. So we don't know if he could actually use their power or not. But he's the only other human besides Morgan Elizabeth that we've seen be involved with the witches. So to see him die with green mist, it was interesting. I want to know if maybe he was a Dathomirian raised from the dead. Maybe he's some other character. But I think Morgan Elizabeth is directly involved with Merrick somehow. Now, with him dying without revealing anything, I feel like it was just a little disappointing. I feel like it would have been cool to get some kind of a background or a story, but that's what we got. And I guess it kind of helped progress the episode because we get to move on and see Ahsoka do more in the episode than just fight him. But it still would have been neat if we had some kind of closure to this extremely mysterious character. I've seen the rumors online. There are so many rumors and predictions to who Merrick could have been. And the rumors were wild. There was a lot of crazy theories. And it turns out he's just a nobody, as far as we know, for now. So that's where they left us with Merrick. And as Sabine is fighting Shin, I feel like it was better. It was better than the first time they fought. I feel like there was more choreography with this one. It felt more different. I felt like they got to use original fighting styles for at least the actresses for this scene. And it was cool to see. It didn't last as long as I wanted, but it was cool to see at first. Now, the next part I thought was pretty cool is when Ahsoka is done beating Merrick, she takes off and just kind of leaves Sabine. I was confused. I don't know why. I don't know why she would have just helped finish off Shin and then they both go, but hey, plot. She leaves. Okay, so now we're moving on to the next part of the episode. And she goes to look for the map, and she finds Baylan defending it. And I was real excited at first. I was really excited. I was like, okay, so we're going to get a really cool fight. And this is the part where I feel like it has some ups and downs. Now, the fighting was cool. I liked it. But I feel like there's just a lot of standoff moments during their fight. There was monologuing, which I think was cool. Baylan needed some monologuing. But there's just a lot of standoff. And I don't know why they chose to film it this way. I don't know why they could have just added more screen time with fights. But it seemed like this episode used standing around or standoffs as just to build the runtime. And that part just kind of got on my nerves because there's so much potential for the show. But I feel like in moments like this where there's just a standoff or she's just standing around, I feel like they're just wasting valuable time. And It's just kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. And as we progress through the episode even more, we find out something that I thought was really intriguing, and this is the part that really grabbed me, was Balin beat Ahsoka. He pushed her off the edge. I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to sequels, I won't get started. But I felt like there wasn't really any substance or reason for Rey's ability. She was unbeatable. So I kind of felt like Disney has kind of treated Ahsoka the same way. So this was nice to see. Now, of course, like you guys, I like the character. I'm a fan of Ahsoka. I don't want to see her just die. I think there's a lot of story to come from her death. But I didn't expect it to happen in the show, especially not in the middle of the season. But to see her beaten at all was just something that kind of a breath of fresh air. It feels like it was risk-taking, and I liked it. It's cool for Balin's character. And the next part that I think is interesting is he's talking to Sabine, and he convinces Sabine to give him the map. I was a fan of this. I thought it was cool. This was not your generic storytelling. I was fully expecting one of the characters, Shin or Balin or Morgan Elizabeth, I fully expected one of them to just have the map memorized and Sabine just destroy it. I expected Sabine to destroy it. Sabine and Ahsoka are at square one, and the enemies still take off to find Thrawn. That's what I expected. But she joins him, not really aligning, but she gives him the map, and Balin is a man of his word. And I think this creates a new dynamic for Shin, because she immediately tries to force choke Sabine. She doesn't seem happy with her, she wants to kill her, and Balin has had references or hints of the makings of a real Jedi. We know he was, but we haven't really seen him embrace the dark side like other characters that we've seen in recent Star Wars media. He was telling Morgan Elizabeth, and I believe either episode 2 or 3, that it would be a shame for Ahsoka to die, being so few Jedi left. And now he's saving Sabine, he's commanding Shin to let her go. I feel like Balin is one of those characters that he's not just completely evil, but he's the almost kind of character you want to root for, because he just has that coolness to his character. So I think this created a cool dynamic for him and Shin. I look forward to seeing what happens. I wonder if Shin is going to shift. She has the makings of turning to the dark side. She seems to be arrogant and reckless and impulsive, and I think this is something Ahsoka has seen before. This is something Balin has probably seen before, and I think it's going to make for a really interesting story if this progresses with her aggression as Balin's apprentice. Now we get to the end of the episode. This is what you guys have seen. This is what everyone's talking about, is we see Anakin Skywalker. Now, yes, I am excited. This is where I'm kind of excited and not excited. It was cool to see Anakin Skywalker. It's cool to see Hayden Christensen reprise his role again, especially in live action. But here's the thing, is I don't know about you guys. I enjoyed Rebels for what it was. I didn't love the show, but I enjoyed it for what it was. But in the episode in Rebels, The World Between Worlds, I felt like it was just kind of this new territory that Star Wars didn't need. And, it was a one-episode thing. They destroyed it. All right, great. All right, story done. But now Ahsoka seems to be in that kind of place again, which one, Rebels, they destroyed it. So now that's confusing. And two, when Ezra was in there before, he was able to see the past and future deaths of Jedi. But Anakin Skywalker in the scene doesn't seem to be speaking or appearing through a portal. He's just there. So I think this episode ended with more questions than answers, which isn't a bad thing. But having this World Between Worlds return, I'm leery about it. I'm really not a fan of this concept, but nevertheless, I can't say I'm real hyped for the next episode, but I really am intrigued. I want to see how they're going to handle this. I want to see if they're just going to utilize Hayden Christensen and let it be fun and nostalgic and not be such this detailed, confusing story. I want to see them just have fun with it. I want fans of Anakin Skywalker and fans of Hayden Christensen to just enjoy seeing him again without being distracted by the details of the plot surrounding the episode. That's what I'm hoping I see in the next episode, but we'll just have to find out. I can't wait for the next episode, so I'll talk about it when it comes out. Thank you guys for watching.